Yo, what up everybody? Yo, what up? Out here. Did it again. Out here hiking a service road in Griffith. There'd be the San Fernando Valley. That way. Be able to get it there. What's everybody doing? It is August. It's a Tuesday. I think today is Friday is the 15th, Thursday the 14th, Wednesday the 13th. So I mean today is the 12th. Hope everybody's having a good day. Well, so what should I talk about? Haven't said nothing. Nah, that's just that whole nonsense of like, I don't know what I'm gonna say. Today we're gonna discuss doing nothing. Look at that fine piece of a machinery. I was gonna say American-made machinery, but I don't know. It should, considering that the type of place it's in and all that, but I don't know. I don't know if that particular one, it looks pretty new, so I don't know if we make that stuff anymore. Well, on to the subject. Today's subject, do nothing. Today's world, doing the rat race, you know, having to do this and that, worry about this and that. You know, you really shouldn't worry about that. The concept of just do nothing, you know. I'm not saying be indifferent to your things, but yeah, just chill, enjoy life, go through life. Do nothing. I see a lot of things of like, oh, if you're a gamer, then you are aware of Gamergate has come back once again, and now we are called to action to combat the nonsense that is transpiring once again in the name of safety and a whole hullabaloo. You got to do this and that. There's the current crises of the world, whether you're an American and you're upset with our president, the Republican Party, the Democratic Party, the whole thing in general. Europe has their problems. The European Union, the Baltic states now, because all the hullabaloo happening there, the things in the Balkans, but that's always happening. But thanks to what's going on in Eastern Europe, you know, the place is balkanizing. It's like, dang. Oh boy, right? The stuff in Asia that's starting to kick off. The perennial nonsense that's happening in Africa. The tumult in the Americas. Not North America, but, well, I guess, because Mexico is in North America, right? But south of the United States borders, or border, and all that. You know, we're called to worry about all these things, call to action. We got to do this, and if we don't do it, you know, the thing happens. You know, nothing ever happens, but if we don't do it, something's gonna happen, right? And that makes everybody so worried. So worried. You know, you should, you as an individual, even as a family, but you specifically as an individual, because this will boil over into the family if you do it, especially if you're the head of the family. Wink, wink. Males, gotta step it up. But, shout out to all you single mothers out there, though. You're the head until either you reconcile with the dude, with the man, if that's possible, or if you find somebody. But until then, obviously you are the head of your family, your small family unit. But yeah, as an individual, you take it easy. You do the concept of don't do nothing, don't do anything. And what is that concept? That concept is not like, oh, you just sit down and be a bum. No, that concept is, grand scheme of things, you wake up, go do your job, but don't worry so much about your job that it consumes you, where you are living to work. You work to live. You have to work. That is our plight on this world. You have to work. But don't let it consume you. Take time out of your day to do something fun, even though people tell you, oh, you're an adult. Even children, because people tell children nowadays too, like this whole concept of you don't want them to grow up, but then you want them to vote, this, that, and the third, but they're not an adult, but they're not a kid, but you treat them like a kid and expect them to be an adult. And then when they want to do stuff as a kid, or something whimsical, something fun, maybe something to you is stupid, you berate them. You tell them all sorts of nonsense, that whatever they're doing is nonsense. And it sounds like a giant projection. And because you have reconciled and resigned yourself to living like that, they have to do that too. But as an adult, you can go out there and have fun, have a hobby. Doesn't need to be expensive, doesn't need to be extravagant. And a simple hobby, collect stamps. And when you learn, and when you do that hobby, like, get into it, like, actually learn. Okay, I'm gonna collect stamps. So what's the history behind stamps? You can then take your downtime to learn about your hobby and be like, oh, so this is why we have stamps. This is how it started. How far back does it go? This practice of stamps, stamping. It leads you into other knowledge like paper and ink and colors. How do we come about making this color and all that? You can niche it up and be like, I'm only going to focus on postage stamps, or go further down. Well, let me rephrase. You can either do it as broad as, just stamps, or you can go as niche as, the stamps that the ancients were using to stamp official documents and send parcels and all that back in the day. They're in the Bronze Age and all that. They needed a way to officiate parcels and stuff to make sure that, it's just like, oh yeah, this has the official backing of whoever, you think phishing attempts are now. They happen today. Like, oh, that's the first time that's ever happened. You think that? You think that? You don't think some emperor back in the day got himself a Nigerian prince that needed some help? You think that only happens nowadays? But yeah, so you do nothing, take time, go do some exercise. See people work so much they can't even do exercise, which leads to a whole bunch of stuff, which then leads to you demanding certain things because you're afraid of your health and all that. But if you or to do a modicum of exercise routinely, you'd be surprised at how much you would feel, like how you would feel, and then how then when certain organizations come at you and tell you, oh, you need to do this, that, and the third, or else you're gonna get sick. Here, take this, take that. Healthcare. And the crux of it is yeah, your healthcare, right? It's healthcare, your healthcare, particularly pertaining to you. You should take care of yourself. You shouldn't rely on a doctor or a nurse or anybody to do that. Imagine if we didn't have doctors and you had cancer. Yeah, you're gonna die. We're all gonna die anyway. It doesn't matter regardless of the cancer now, you're gonna die. But if you didn't have doctors, if you just took care of yourself, maybe you could live that much longer, and then set up a thing so your family or whoever you need to take care of, regardless of whether that is your family or yourself, you can set up for when you die, or anything. Like if you get really sick, you know, like, all right, here it is. Now that I'm really sick, you know, I worked, I have a little bit of money saved up because I was able to do that because I was physically fit. Now that I'm in the terminal stages, I can pay somebody and I have a note, just be like, here's the money, take care of me. As long as you keep taking care of me, there will be money. You know, X, Y, and Z. But yeah, you know, do nothing. Now, I'm not saying like if you have also responsibilities, like if you're upper management, you know, you own a business, all this stuff like that, you're a CEO, you're a CFO. You run an organization, whether that be a nonprofit, for-profit, a charity, a real charity actually doing charitable works, or if you are, you know, just doing it for the money, because charities are pretty profitable regardless. All that stress of running that, you know, don't worry about it. If you lose it, you lose it. It's not like if you have that, all your employees and yourself have immortality, and if you lose that particular status or whatever, the job you have, the title, the business, the land, if you lose it, you somehow lose your immortality, as if as a human we have that, right? Mortal immortality in terms of the body. But we worry so much about so many trivial things. I'm a Catholic, so I'm a little biased, obviously. What I do, what I say, is not, it is of me, but it is not from me. The only things that I could say kinda are like the evil things I do, but all things are permitted for one reason or another. So even then, it's like the illusion of free choice, you know, you're all that. Well, because of that concept, so we were at the rat race and all that people have distorted that whole notion, you know. I believe in God. He has the ultimate say. He's taking care of everything. I don't really have to worry about anything. Yeah, there are certain things that I need to do because that is what he has put me here to do, and I had to deal with them. And if you want to know what those things are, it's the things that you are dealing with. And sometimes some of those things, he puts them there simply so that you have to rely on him. And the notion, or the thing you need to do is completely let it go. That thing that you're worrying about so hard, that paycheck, that business deal, that board meeting, all that. Sometimes some of those things you just gotta be like, yeah, it's gonna crumble. You can see it too. You worry about such obvious things, and you know that it's not gonna work out. You know it. And yeah, it falls apart. And yet you stressed over it so hard. You clenched your fists so tight. You cut the circulation off your fingers. And in the process of losing whatever it is that you just lost, you also lost your fingers. It's like, dang, was it worth it? Holding on that tight, did it help? sure, maybe you can tell yourself, you can cry yourself to sleep and be like, yeah, at least I didn't give up, or, you know, I tried my best. I even, you know, I did it. I tried so hard that, look, I even lost my fingers. But ultimately, was it really worth it? When you're on your deathbed, was it worth it? Or would you have rather have been like, you know what, I'm gonna go chill at the park and go look at nature, or I'm gonna go to the beach and just look at the ocean, or I'm just gonna go home and relax my worry mind. I'm gonna go hang out with the kids. I'm gonna go hang out with my niece. I'm gonna go hang out with my nephew. I'm gonna go hang out with my cousins. I'm gonna go hang out with myself. I'm gonna go hang out with the Lord, huh? That is my bias. Trying to keep it in a secular notion solely because it was easier for people to grasp, it seems. Even though I don't think so. I think people just tell themselves that because they look themselves in the mirror. It's not nice. It's not nice. Even those people that do self-aggrandizement and are, I'm not gonna say narcissistic because they seem like it, but just people who value, quote unquote, value themselves incredibly highly, even then. Because narcissists too, it's in the very heart of a narcissist. They do all that because they know themselves, and they don't want others to know that. And so that's why they do what they do. So you don't see them. You see what they portray them to be. Because one thing that beats a narcissist the most is not when you hate them because of the things they've done, but you pity them because you see what they are, who they are. That really gets them, like, oh boy, like, oof. You think a narcissist feels bad when you're just like, I don't care about you anymore, you suck because all those things that you did to me, and then they're like, no, I was good for you, I was the best, I did, I'm always right, and you just like, nah, because they still get the power trip out of that, because it's like, yes, it's me who's causing this, like, haha, this relationship failed because of me, versus, hey, I love you, I care for you, feel so bad about how you feel, and I'm just gonna, that's it, just gonna see you when I see you, I'm gonna keep pushing, and wish you the best. You know, whatever you do, you know, holds nothing to me. It doesn't bind me to nothing. It doesn't bind me to anything. Your life is inconsequential to me. Because it is. But those self-aggrandizement people, even then, they don't. So they do all the things that they do. It's because they don't like to see themselves in the mirror. You know, they say they do. Why do they try that hard? Why can't they not do anything and just be like, you know what, I'm chilling. I'm chilling. But yeah, that monk ascetical lifestyle where you just, life comes as it goes, the days come as they go. If you see today, it's a blessing. If you see tomorrow, it's a blessing. If you don't see tomorrow, it's still a blessing. If you're to die, it's still a blessing. It's over. You needn't worry anymore. Because you physically can't, right? You're dead. But you worry so much about tomorrow, you contemplate so much about the past, you forget about the here and the now. You can't enjoy it. So, yeah, take time. Silence is good, you know, as part of it. Don't like just sit in silence sometimes, like 2 minutes. Just be there, silent. With your eyes open or your eyes closed, don't matter, but no noise other than obviously the ambient noise around you. Because even your body does. If you go in a soundproof room, you'll hear your body. So it's kind of impossible to be in a place where there is no sound. The only place to do that physically would be to go in an absolute zero room, but that's when time stops. We don't have the physical, I don't think we'll ever have the physical capability to do that. Could be wrong though, could be wrong. We're pretty close to it. It's 0 degrees Kelvin, negative 275 degrees Celsius, then negative 468 degrees Fahrenheit. That's absolute zero. It's a real thing. It's the coldest. It's the coldest temperature that can be reached. But yeah, you know, enjoy life. Don't stress out too much. Do nothing. Stress out about so many things. And for what? Now what I'm saying is pretty difficult. It's simple, but it ain't easy. That I know. And also, I'm not talking out of my butt either. Like, if you think saying this, I have said it before in my previous things, but previous videos. But I am a cancer survivor. I went through a whole little thing with that, so I know what it's like to be in a position where you should be stressed out, right? To tell you the truth, I really wasn't that stressed out when I was going through it. I could have died and all that. And I was estranged from the church, but that might have been the catalyst to bring me back. But that in that, it wasn't like I was like, oh, my spiritual enlightenment begins now. No, I was, for some reason, I was incredibly calm through the whole process. I was like, if I die, I'm going to die. What is there for me to do? It's gonna suck. It's melanoma. The deaths from melanoma are not fun. It's not no cancer is fun to die, but there are some that are more severe, and apparently melanomas. It's not fun. It's not the best, but yeah. And that did teach me. The blessing that came out of it too, multiple, but pertaining to this subject, is that it taught me really not to worry. If I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. The reason I didn't die wasn't because what the doctors did or anything. They told me to. Quote unquote, I was lucky. But yeah, it really wasn't. It was in nobody's hands except his, and apparently it wasn't my time. And if I am to die, if I'm going to die of cancer, then I'm going to die of cancer. There's really nothing I can do. I didn't even get it from the sun. I got it from trauma. If you're familiar with how Bob Marley got it, he got trauma in his foot from playing soccer. I got trauma on my foot from hitting a table, and it manifested into skin cancer, to melanoma. So it wasn't even like, oh, I was out in the sun unprotected. I have pretty pale skin, so I'm not equipped to go in the sun, as they say. Though I never really got sunburnt. It was only if I was like just in a super intense part of the day, and I was just out there with my back exposed or something, like I'm just sitting down and I'm just beating on me. And then I would get sunburned, but other than that, I really didn't get sunburned. But regardless, I didn't get it from the sun. I got it from trauma, which is just like, crazy. So what was I supposed to do? I could have stressed out. And back in the day, if I was younger, if I was like in my teens when I went through it, or even early 20s, oh my goodness, I might have died. I might have died for reals, because cancer really loves a stress environment. For some reason, it really does get worse when you're very stressed. And boy, when I was growing up, I was so stressed about getting sick and so many things. So I may have died I had it younger, because I would have just been so stressed out that my body wouldn't probably be able to fight it, because your immune system goes down. And then I don't know if the stress hormone, I haven't really done that much research into cancer, even though I got it, all that, but so I'm not too worried about it. It's like, it is what it is. But I don't know if the stress itself, like the chemical, the hormone that's in your body, that when you get stressed, that feeling of stress really causes it. I don't know if cancer feeds on that, or maybe how your body metabolizes when you're stressed, that is conducive to the environment in which cancer grows. Maybe when you have sugar in your body and you're stressed, it's different. So because cancer loves sugar. So even if you're not really intaking sugar, whatever is in there, like it's boosted. But yeah, coulda. But all that to say, you know, like, yeah, I know what it's like. I know what I'm saying. Like, oh, don't be stressed. It's like, oh, easy for you to say. You've never been. You don't know what I'm going through. It's like, yeah, I probably don't. But it's not like I haven't had it either. It's not like I've had an absolutely stress-free, just amazing life. No problems. I've been given everything that I ever wanted. I'm happy. I can't complain. I'm a self-made billionaire, trillionaire. I have all the material wants. I have all my material wants. I am one of those people that as a biblical term, they have a hard heart. They have a heart of stone. So even then, that my spiritual life is to me is fine, right? Like I'm completely self-contained. I don't need to do anything else, because everything is met. You know, I never grew up like that. But in this day and age, especially right now, I'm a young man. I'm a young, single, 32-year-old male. I'm not 32 yet, but next month I will be. So, if something happens, I'm a 32-year-old male, single. You would think that, like, oh, I should be stressing, like I don't have a girlfriend. Oh, I don't have a wife. I don't really want a girlfriend. I want a wife. I am an adult after all. I have matured. Even though I'm a whimsical little lad, I'm trying to be God's silly soldier. Or at least one of God's silly soldiers. I don't think I can. I don't want to be the silliest. But I do want to be part of the silliest. That's for sure. Silly little lad. But I want a wife. I don't want a girlfriend. It's my own little personal thingamabob. But yeah, you think I would be stressing, especially my country of America, with all the things. Things are just going through the roof. The cost of living. My government is doing local and federal. Local, state, and federal government going bananas. But, you know, I should be stressing. In a secular sense, yes, I should. But, you know, I'm not. I think I'm stressing, to be honest, I am stressing a little bit more on the marital relations. Not those. The finding the wife, not the whole thing when people say marital relations, but the whole getting a lady, or not getting a lady, but receiving one unto yourself, so that you may live a fruitful and blessed life. Hopefully have a family. You know, but I think that's more because biologically, that's what happens when you get older, or when you hit your 30s. Because when I was younger, I really wasn't. I was like, okay, whatever. And I really was so hard in pursuing a lady when I was younger for some reason. I wasn't, especially in middle school. So elementary school, obviously, you know, the kids, they have their little thingies, right? Your little first crush. I mean, I had one, but it was like whatever. It was really like, why the heck do I feel like this? What the heck is going on? And in middle school, it was like, she's pretty, but And then high school was pretty much the same. Just like, I'm here to go to school. I'm here to do education. You know, that's not what I received. Good old LAUSD. I wasn't really too much into it for some reason. I really wasn't. And then growing up, and then going through my 20s, that's when it really was just like, Now I'm 30, my body is like, okay. And I'm like, what the heck? But yeah, even then, I'm, can't be stressing too much. There's no point. What's the point? Ooh, that's some good kindling. But yeah, so yeah. Yeah. So I've been there. I know what I'm saying one should aspire to try to achieve. Don't worry too much. Do nothing, just do nothing, because ultimately it's not in your hands. Don't worry too much. Don't stress out too much. Take care of what you can take care of, and don't stress too hard. You parents out there, don't try to make your kids into little versions of you. They're your kids. You guide, you love them, and you preside over them. But they are individuals, so don't stress out too much either if you're parenting. Obviously, you want them to be good and this and that and the third. But what is the notion of being good, right? Apparently, it's subjective. So don't stress out too much. Just let them grow, and they're going to be all right. They're going to be all right. If they're not going to be all right, they're not going to be all right. Just don't abuse them. Don't lead them astray. And up until that point, love, guard, and be their parent. But even then, don't stress out too much. At some point, they're going to leave the nest, regardless of whether you want them to or not. It is what's going to happen. Eventually, you will die. But yeah, you already know where you are. I'm gonna leave it off here with that. Don't do nothing, do nothing. Don't worry about it. Just handle yourself. Handle what's around you. And even then, don't stress out too much. There's so much stress in the world. Come out here, do some exercise, go for a hike, ride a bike, run, walk, swim, jump off planes, jump off mountains. With parachutes, I'm not saying that, But, rock climb, paraglide, skateboard, this, that, and the third, And just try to enjoy life, no matter what. And up there we go. Bye-bye. Yes, sir. Hiya. What a beautiful